This is Grace Notes. I'm Alan Button, and I'm pleased to have as our guest in the studio today Mr. Aaron Landry. Aaron is a longtime North Carolina resident, is a native born and raised in West Jefferson, North Carolina, and made his way to Chapel Hill, graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in 1994 with a degree in economics. Aaron is the husband of Elizabeth and the father of Emma Gentry, Caroline, and Marshall. Well, Aaron, tell you what, we'll come to in a few minutes what it is in particular that got our attention about you, but tell us a little bit more about your growing up years in the mountains.
Yeah, well, Alan, just pleasure to be here with you today. I wanted to kind of start with that. Just
Good.
to appreciate the time to talk with you today and to share a little bit of my story and, more importantly, what kind of we're doing today in Moore County. But I grew up in, as you said, West Jefferson, North Carolina, and my mother and father, Landry and Julie Landry, they were. My mother was a 4-H agent for 30 years, and my father was a child psychologist. I always tell people I've been in therapy for 46 years, and been a very good benefactor of all that. A sister Paige as well. Just had really a idyllic growing up. Wonderful parents, wonderful family, and ultimately leading to an opportunity for me to go to Chapel Hill, which I always wanted to go since I guess the 1982 national championship. I just decided that's where I wanted to go as a 10-year-old, and was lucky enough later on to get to go there and really enjoy my time at Chapel Hill.
Tell you what, before we leave your growing up background, I know before we came in the studio, you mentioned that your mom and dad had some significant influence on your perspective on service and leadership and community focus and so on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, my mother was always a community leader, and different roles, really helping kids in the community, and always had me involved. And my father has spent his adult life of being her number one volunteer, and a phenomenal one at that, being always there supportive. And so I just learned from them the importance of leadership, being out there and being involved, and also in service of others, that we need to do that and find ways that we can serve people in the community and also serve our own families. I mean, the servant leadership is something that's been a hallmark of my life and been very important in my adult life as much as it was growing up.
It occurs to me that by way of background, it might be helpful for our listeners to know that you are in management with a national financial services organization, but that by no means is your only focus. I know you're involved, obviously, being in management in leadership roles there, but you've got significant community involvement that also relates to that leadership background that you attribute to your mom and dad.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I believe we have to be authentic in all our life, and work is one component of that. I really enjoy the role I have in working with others and leading in that capacity, but I also see that I need to be that in all things, and not just one thing at work and a different thing at home. And so it's, again, giving me an opportunity to lead in my church, to lead in a couple of different organizations we'll talk about in a few minutes, I think. And then just to participate, also be a good follower at times, because sometimes you need to know when to let others step forward and to build them up to lead.
Tell you what, as you say, we'll in a few minutes get into some of the details, but let's hear a little bit more about how your wife fits into all this, Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, well, it's amazing. I look at my adult life actually really launched with her. She saw in me the man I could be and has really challenged me to live up to that vision over the last 23 years. We're coming up. June 1st will be our 23-year anniversary, and so
congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a wonderful thing to go through my life with her and to have these three amazing children that we get to steward along with. But yeah, Elizabeth, everyone knew that she was going to be phenomenal and how she was going to turn out. I was the wild card, and luckily she saw that. And as I said, that's the thing that really has pushed me to try and be all that I can be to live up to to what she saw I could be.
I gather that this first song that you've identified has something to do with her.
No doubt about it. She has been and will always be my brown-eyed girl.
Let's hear the song, Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. That was Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. If you're just joining us, this is Grace Notes, and our guest today is Aaron Landry. Aaron, you were talking about or alluded to your interest in and priority for leadership development in yourself and in others. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, one thing, again, it's been my profession over the last 15, 20 years in terms of corporate leadership, but then just beginning to realize more and more the need and opportunity for leadership in our communities today. And I've had the pleasure over the last 5, 6 years to be able to bring together my own desire to be involved in that with different organizations that I'm participating in. And so one of them, about 5, 6 years ago, a group of men and I started an organization called F3. Faith, Fitness, and Fellowship is what that stands for. But at its core, it's a fitness group that we work out in parking lots and parks and schools at 5:30 in the morning. So basic workout type of a thing. But ultimately, the real pursuit is unlocking the leadership of men today. You know, I believe in a lot of ways men have forgotten that they need to step up in that way and are not given an opportunity and understanding of how to do that. And so it's just been exciting to see through fitness itself, getting guys more engaged and partnering around that, and then presenting opportunities where they might lead and do other things. It's a group that's been going, it's all around the country now, but mostly in the Southeast, started in Charlotte around 10 years ago. But we're going to allow someone to move into leading the group very quickly, then to see that unlock other places that they can lead, and most notably in the home. I think that we need to all be challenged, especially as men, to be stronger leaders in our own home, servant leaders in our own home, and then to see where that can take us in our communities, in our churches, in different civic organizations, and then also to step forward in the workplace.
Let me have you back up just for a minute. Were you involved in sports growing up?
I was. I played basketball growing up, also played golf growing up. But then as I got out of college, just kind of refound fitness as a priority in my life, and have been really pursuing that significantly over the last 20 years. And so fitness is very important to me.
Well, it's certainly true. Increasingly, studies are showing that our physical fitness has a lot to do with our mental and psychological well-being.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I really believe that. And, and that was one of the things, to go through a time in my life where that was all about my own personal pursuit or accolades, because I was doing races and different things to complete them, marathons or half Ironman and all those types of things. And while I enjoyed those things, I didn't until I figured out combining that pursuit of fitness with the accountability and fellowship of other men, that I was able to unlock something in myself, that I saw I could do more. I could be more than just getting a personal accolade. I can do things in the community. I can do more in my home. I can do more in the lives of others. And so, again, it's been very rewarding to have that be an on-ramp into all these things, and a lot of my life come together.
On-ramp, I think, is a good term for a mechanism for connecting with others, because you identify common ground, and then I gather with your fellowship priorities and your faith orientation in F3 that you grow in relationship and encouragement.
No doubt about it. And, the faith part, again, I'm a Christian religion, and so that's very important to me. But as far as this group, it's a larger faith organization. It's about just a belief in something more than yourself. And so we know that, again, if we're going to come together in a common place in relationship with one another, we believe in something more than ourselves, and that can turn into a pursuit of greater things. and the accountability to pour into others in different ways and see that manifest itself in guys getting better. I mean, we've got a life that we can pursue getting better, or we have a life that we can just stagnate in. There seems to be too many people out there that get to a stage in life where they think they shouldn't keep getting better, or there's not an opportunity to get better, or a group to be involved in. Well, there is, and the world needs more people to embrace that and to do it. And guess what? It's hard. But when you got people around you that are going to help you, support you, encourage you, we can do hard things.
Actually, you've provided me with a good segue into something I wanted to press you a little bit on. Tell us more about the needs that you see that underlie this effort on your part and the part of others to become better. What needs are there?
Well, I think that is, again, if you look in your local church, look in your local community, you look in a lot of families, half of all marriages end in divorce. And so that in and of itself is a leadership vacuum. And so that's where, again, if we say, and again, I joke about it takes a whole lot of men to do what one woman can do. So this is in no way meant to say that women aren't doing a phenomenal job of leading in these places, but I can only speak from my place as a man, what I need to do. But again, I think where men need to step forward and recognize that in the home first, we need to be servant leaders in the home more. I think that our young people need that. I think that our relationships in the home need that. I think you look in churches today, there are not enough men moving forward in meaningful ways to participate and be involved. And then I think also, again, you look in our different communities, how often are we seeing places look for people to come in and be on boards or to help raise money or participate in different things that are great things and great things that are involved. And so, that's part of one of the other things we want to talk about, which has allowed us to uncover a way to show that to other men with an organization called 100 More Men. 100 More Men is a charity organization, really a charity outreach.
And that's Moore, by the way, Moore, referring
that's right.
to Moore
that's
County,
right.
which
that's
is
right.
your home county.
That's right, County of Moore. And so that was the evolution. Again, if you bring people together, you start getting them involved in leadership more, they start thinking about how I can lead, and then they're going to start to take those ideas in their own head or the people around them and participate and be a part of it. And so what we had was this started from a group of great women in Atlanta called 100 Women Who Give a Hoot, that then became a group in Durham called 100 Men Who Give a Damn, and we stole that idea and created 100 More Men, Moore, as you said. That is about 100 men coming together for one night with $100 each, hearing from 3 local charities that maybe you haven't heard from or know about, but that are evident and trying to do great things in our community, and then voting at the end of the night how to give away that $10,000. And so we've done that twice, and we've given away combined, I think, around $24,000, and it's just been an amazing way for men with a giving heart to get introduced to great organizations that need money, need leadership, need participation in order to continue on their mission. And, as I think I mentioned this to you earlier, everybody wants an app for that, a top 10 list, give me the Cliff Notes version. Well, we've given people a Cliff Note version of how they can take time and get involved and know where they're needed. And we feel like it's turning into something special and on that path. Now, it's one thing I'll caution you on. It's not meant to be a Shark Tank night, right? We want all 3 charities to benefit from the exposure to 100 men that want to give back. And that might not be in money that night. That might be in service. That might be in people for their potential board and partnership and all different ways. But they're getting that kind of exposure, and we do give money away to all 3 that night. Everybody leaves with a check of some sort, but we have one major award winner of $10,000. So we've had 2 of those. We had one in the fall where we had the Northern Moore Resource Center was the award recipient in the fall out of Robbins, and then we had Dreams for All was the award recipient this spring when we had it. So we hope to do at least 2 of these a year going forward and continue to have people involved in learning more about these local charities and giving back.
Well, congratulations. What a great concept. I'll look forward to hearing more about how things go for you and 100 more men down the road. I'd like to come back in a couple of minutes to some of the overarching themes and underlying foundation of all that you're involved in. But before we do that, tell us about this song that I think ties in very nicely with what you've just been commenting on. Brother?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, Brother from Need to Breathe is a great song. There's a concept of iron sharpening iron that I have been able to experience in my life by having these men around me that challenge me, that make me better every single day, and I can't and won't go through life without them. It's a phenomenal thing.
Let's hear the song, Brother, by Need to Breathe, featuring Gavin DeGraw. That was Brother by Need to Breathe. Our guest today is Aaron Landry. Aaron, you were saying, actually, while we were listening to that song, something about other focuses, other efforts that F3 has gotten into or encouraged others to develop. But tell us a little bit more about those things.
Yeah, as I said, Alan, it's just exciting to see men take on the ideas, concepts, and opportunities that they've had in their minds all along, but then move them into action. And so we've had one of the men that we spend time with, Billy Thomas, has started a safe house for addicts to help them in the transition back to sobriety. We've created a speakers bureau where we have men going and speaking to younger men at Pinecrest High School with Coach Metzer. What a great program Coach Metzger has there at Pinecrest. I always say he's a man maker. He's not a football coach, but again, we're able to. He's allowed us to come and pour our stories into younger men, which I think again is another important part, and that then speaks to another thing we're rolling out more and more, which is a mentorship program. We call it Whetstone. The necessity for men today to mentor younger men, and that's men of all ages. You know, I've had the great benefit of having tremendous mentors in my life, you know, whether it was my father or my father-in-law and others at work. But, you know, we need to actively be engaged in that. And so this Whetstone project has been important to where we're launching that in partnership with both the Safe House and then also just in our community of men to help men pursue and accelerate in all phases of their life. We make the comment that we will leave no man behind, but we will leave no man where he's standing either.
And I take it when you say we'll leave no man where he stands, you're talking about encouraging men to move forward.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I think most men, we look back on our childhood and we remember that camaraderie of the team we had. Again, I told you I was on the basketball team growing up, and many of us had some experience, Little League or a soccer team or a baseball team, whatever it might be. And we kind of say, God, those were great. I wish we had the guys together. You even hear professional athletes say, I miss the guys. Well, the guys are there. The opportunity to have that camaraderie and success as a unit are there. It's just now to be successful in life. It's not to be successful at winning a pennant or winning some trophy. It's about winning the heart of your wife. It's about winning, you know, a better community. It's about winning great kids you get to raise, and to have a team of men around you in accomplishing that is available to all men if they just step out and they're humble enough to ask for it and to be involved in it.
I take it that the kinds of needs that you're describing, the kinds of needs that you're involved in seeking to meet are not different on racial or economic or social bases. Is that true? It crosses all lines.
All lines. And that's been the other part that's been amazing is this group of men, it has all of that. There's broad diversity in terms of economics, in terms of background, in terms of religion, in terms of age. I was at a workout Monday. We had a 6-year-old son of one of our guys was there. We also had a couple of gentlemen that were struggling with addiction that were there. And then we had 3 or 4 other people that are different phases of life, whether it's a physician or a business owner that are both out there. So it's just really exciting to see the complexity of our world come together in a group of men, and all of us being willing to pour into each other and to help each other to some common goal.
Tell you what, Aaron, before we wrap up, I want to shift gears a little bit and bring it back to you personally. You were telling me before we came into the studio that you do a lot of reading. Why do you do that?
Well, my boss kind of created this culture of continual improvement. I just feel like there's got to be a pursuit of more, as I think we've talked a lot about. But, having the written word there, the study of all things, there's so many people that did it all before us. There's so many people that are doing it better than us today. And to think that we should try and do it on our own, we're missing out. And so that's why, I've become I call it a consumer of the written word in different ways over the last 15 years. And it's been extremely rewarding to help me in my job with ideas, concepts to share and apply with others. It's helped me, as I said, in the home. And it's helped me in terms of just giving myself an outlet to constantly be learning and growing and evolving. I think that's one of the keys to life. We have to always be growing. A pursuit of mastery is a phrase that I've heard before that we have to maintain in order to have a joyful life.
Tell us about this third song that you've identified.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Right. Well, I'd mentioned to you, my son Marshall, he and I are big MCU Marvel Comics guys. The song comes from one of the movies. My son and I listened to it even recently when we were on a trip in Florida. We were in a convertible driving down the highway, sunset, just this amazing moment. But it struck me, again, the words, ain't no mountain high enough, no valley low enough, river wide enough that will keep me from getting to you. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is, again, if we're involved in community with our family, with our churches, with the people we're around every day in relationship with, then we're not going to allow anything to keep us from being there for them. In the same way, them from being there for us. We're not here to be alone in this life. We're here to be in relationship with others and to lead and be led through service. We'll
come to it momentarily. Give us a website where people can get more information on F3 if they're interested.
F3sandhills.com is the easiest place to get us. It'll have the locations where we do our workouts. It'll have the different Bible studies that we have or other organization and events that we're going to have throughout the year. Because we do we're participating in a lot of things right now, and there's a lot of great men that are leading that right now.
F3sandhills.com. Well, Aaron, it's been a real treat to have you here today. What you've had to say is a challenge and an encouragement. I thank you for being our guest.
Well, thank you so much, Alan. Appreciate you having me.
Let's hear the song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.